I'm going to be making my Warrior Blend protein bars today, and I'm really excited about this recipe because this recipe is made with my favorite protein powder. In fact, I consider it to be the best protein powder on the market. So let's get started on my protein bars. It's a really simple recipe. It's just a couple of steps. We're going to start by making the crust. I've got some coconut flour here, and I'm going to blend that up with some coconut butter. You can also use coconut oil if coconut butter is hard to find. But this is a healthy fat, and it's one that I actually prefer to use. The other thing I like to add into the crust is some stevia. I choose to use vanilla cream stevia, so you don't really need very much of it, just a couple of drops. And I like to add a pinch of pink Himalayan crystal salt. Okay, so I like to add about 4 scoops of vanilla SUNWARRIOR protein, and it's absolutely delicious in the crust. It makes for a really, really nice crust. So I'm going to add that in, and we're just going to reassemble the food processor here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to open that up, and as you can see, you have a bit of a crust that sort of crumbles together. So that's exactly the kind of texture that you want. And we're just gonna pat that right into the dish here and just pat it down firmly. We're just gonna pat it all the way down right into the corners. Preferably use a dish that's freezer proof because we are gonna be freezing these protein bars. The best part about this recipe is that there's no baking involved. And you don't really want to bake this recipe considering that you're using SUNWARRIOR, which is a raw protein powder. So once you start to cook it or bake it, it does lose its bioavailability. What I like to do is I like to add some medjool dates, and these are really healthy carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates. Generally about a cup's worth. You can add a little bit more if you want to. We're gonna add some chia seeds. You might have heard of the Amazonian superfood chia seeds. These are really healthy for you. I'm going to be adding some mulberries, or if you cannot find dried mulberries, you can opt for some raisins as well. And we're going to add some pecans for the healthy fat. So just add your pecans. So the other thing is that I like to do is add some walnuts, and walnuts are really high in omega-3s. They taste delicious. And we're going to spice up the bars with a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg. So just add a little bit of that. Gonna pop in a bit of your very, very, very ripe banana. As you can see, these have been sitting for a while and they're quite ripe. So I'm gonna add a bit of that in. And I'm just gonna seal up this food processor here. So I'm gonna give this a blend. And this should be just about the right texture now. So you can have a look and see what that looks like. Scoop the second layer of these amazing protein bars right on top of the crust. So you can actually just put out some handfuls of it and lay it right there over your first layer, your crust layer. And you can actually just do the same thing that you did, is just pat them down. Pop this in the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours. It will solidify, after which I'll pull it out of the freezer and I will cut it into bars. So here you are, my Warrior bars, made with SUNWARRIOR protein, rich in nutrients, branched chain amino acids, completely raw, completely bioavailable, and absolutely delicious. I am so excited to eat one of these, and I am really happy that I made a batch for the rest of my week. So I hope that gives you an idea as to how to whip up your own protein bars, and I hope you enjoy this recipe.